Hey everyone, I'm Heinz, and welcome to another video from SIC Forex. I hope that you're having a fantastic week, and in today's video, we'll be going through the process of updating my trading tools by removing Cadence FX EA from the system and adding two new robots, Black Dragon and Hamster Scalping. However, before moving forward, if you find any part of this video useful, I'm going to ask you to drop it a like. Also consider subscribing to stay updated with future content. So let's get started by taking a closer look at what happened with the Cadence FX results by looking at myfxbook. We'll be discussing the different reasons behind the decision to remove this EA from the account. So if we head over to the myfxbook for the RoboForex account, we'll see that it started placing sell trends during a strong uptrend period on the AUD CAD. For our analysis, we are using the 4-hour time frame to give a better overview of what happened during this period. Now, Cadence FX is missing a couple of key and important settings for this cost averaging strategy, which caused it to fail in this process. Now, because of this, I've reviewed a couple of other EAs and have decided to replace this expert advisor with something that will withstand these periods of drawdown. It is important that we have a drawdown reduction algorithm as a part of our trading process. So if we take a deeper look at the myfxbook for the RoboForex account, which is currently at a negative absolute gain of 11.8%, we'll see there is a process of recovery that hopefully these other two robots will satisfy. Now, if you're ever looking at the account, you can just select the General tab, and this will give you an overview of the expert advisors that are running on the account. And I've already added EA Black Dragon and Hamster Scalping with the set files that I'll share during this video. So if we take a look at the overall performance, most of the robots have been doing really well, with the exception of Cadence FX, which was trading on the USD CAD and the AUD CAD. So if we head over to the custom analysis and select those two specific robots, you'll see the first reason why I decided to remove this expert advisor. The reason is, even with the combined set files, it has made a negative profit of $828.29, or a negative absolute gain of 7.39 with a drawdown of 16.42. You'll see this specific EA was constantly in drawdown, so we'll see the equity growth line is below the actual growth of the account. Now, this shows me that this strategy doesn't have advanced features like an overlap technique, which reduces drawdown, and also missing a news filter. So in our next section, we'll actually look at what are the settings that we'll be looking for to ensure that we can get a better performance from this testing account. So we'll be looking at the missing settings for Cadence FX. So if we actually go back to MetaTrader 5, and all of the robots featured in today's video are available for MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5, and we look at a custom period from the 15th of March until the 15th of July, we'll see using the base settings that this robot is missing quite a few. The first and one of the most important settings that I look out for in an expert advisor is a drawdown reduction function. If you are trading a cost averaging or grid martingale style robot, it is important to have the right algorithm in the background to ignore these long and extended periods of drawdown. So if we look at the news filter that is missing, these are important key events which can be done manually by having a day of the week filter, but alternatively, us as traders would be looking for a specific news filter that is designed for that EA. Now, some of the other limitations is we look at the trade multiplier and distance. It would be important if it could be a dynamic system that increases or decreases after a certain amount of trades. These different feedbacks that I have for the robot are things that can still be incorporated, but currently at the same price as the others, I do feel that the other two robots will outperform this one. Furthermore, if we look at the auto lot or dynamic lot style of this EA, it uses very high risk percentages. If we see from the graph, which is testing over the same period, you'll see that this example has been stuck in drawdown since March and actually closed at a very small profit of only $282.56. This is with a very high drawdown of over 1,200. So this ratio for me is a little bit excessive, and it's going to be reflected in the very low profit factor of only 1.04. If it had the day of the week filter, we could actually stop it trading on Fridays and close out all of the trades and then restart on a Monday. You'll see that the last few months for the robot has been really tough, and because of all of this information, I decided to remove it from the account. Now, I often get asked, is it possible to have one robot replace the other? So we'll be looking at exactly how to remove an EA and then load the one that you want to use to replace it onto the account. At the time that I was removing Cadence FX, it still had open trades, so I had to update the magic number to according to the previous one. Furthermore, EA like Black Dragon and Hamster Scalping also have the option of managing open trades or manual trades. This means that you can only have it and load it onto the chart, and it will actually take care of your own personal trades. So here we are now on the RoboForex Pro Cent account, and you'll see that Cadence FX MT4 is currently attached to the chart. You'll see we have the smiley face here and the name on the right hand side, as well as the FX Streamer spread filter. So once we've removed the EA, you'll see you can also double check it under the Experts tab. You can attach the new Expert Advisor. Now, for this purpose, there are a couple of manual updates that you'll need to make if you still have open trades from the other account. So to do this, what you need to do for hamster scalping is select manual orders to true. Now, furthermore, this cent account works with a minimum lot size of 0.10. I have made the settings adjustments for the set files for you guys so that all of the initial lots will still be 0.01. We'll further take a look at how this EA has performed over the last 24 months and also over the short period of the last 3 months that this account's been running live. So now if we look at the settings for hamster scalping in a little more detail, we'll be creating a full video on the channel so that you can learn more about this next generation scalper. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to update it to run on the old magic number while it still has open trades. You'll see it take over the chart, and after a couple of minutes of updating, you'll see that it currently has a negative buy profit of 142.66. Now, as the market moves, this EA will now use its overlapping technique to finally close out these running open trades. Now, by doing this, we've now completely removed Cadence FX from the account, and I'll also update the different robots that feature that expert advisor. Next, let's explore hamster scalping. Now, hamster scalping is currently available at the summer sale for only $30, and it's currently testing at version 21. Now, I initially reviewed this nighttime scalper on my channel on the 21st of January 2023, and it's an RSI ATR based scalping EA. Now, what we'll be looking at is doing a test on the USD CAD from the 10th of January 2022 until the 10th of January 2024 using the initial deposit of 10,000, which is around what their cent account reflects at the moment. We'll be using every tick based on real ticks to get the most accurate information for the set file. Now, the set file that I made for hamster scalping for the USD CAD on the 15-minute time frame uses a couple of different settings that we'll be looking at in the next section of this video. Now, when it comes to hamster scalping, you have a choice of either a base strategy or using a grid. And I have decreased the amount of the auto lot size to 5,000 because I feel this bot can be very aggressive if used incorrectly. Furthermore, I'm trading in a bi-directional way using a hedge as true, meaning it will place both buy and sell orders. I'll only trading for 3 hours a day at the end of the Tokyo session to get the most out of the events and get the high liquidity and volatility needed to close out the trades. Now, if we take a look at the indicator settings, these I copied from one of Rummel's set files. To further enhance this indicator and help it get out of these, I used a lower lot multiplier and decreased that to only 1.3, adding a virtual take profit of 150 points or 15 pips. Now, these different settings work in a great way combined with its overlapping technique. Now, what the overlapping technique does, it actually reduces drawdown by closing the highest and the lowest trades. So it's important that you pay attention to how you set up your overlapping technique and adjust it according to your own trading preferences. This robot also features a dynamic distance settings for your grid spacing. This means you can actually use two different numbers and have the second increase after a set number of trades. So for this example, after 6 distances of 250 points, it actually firstly places a closer order and then starts multiplying that distance by 1.2. Now, furthermore, the news settings are set up to ignore low impact news, but it is true for all the others. We have a spacing of 60 minutes before and after a high important event, and then 15 minutes before and after a medium event size. Now, these different settings will be available, and of course, they can be adjusted for any instrument that you like to trade. So, these will be running on the Robo Forex account. So, if you want to track it, make sure to check the information tab to see which magic numbers it's currently trading on. Now, if we continue forward with this backtest example, we'll see that this is running at a 0.01 lot size. This will give us an accurate base to start from for those of you that are using that size on a smaller account. We still see the periods of drawdown, but these blue little boxes show us that the overlapping technique, removing the highest and the lowest order and actually moving our grid around. Now we had a total net profit using a 0.01 size of $938.75 with a low equity drawdown of only 3.55%. This ratio of 1 to 3 is a very healthy ratio and shows that we are getting rewarded for the amount of drawdown that we are holding. It's entering in the last part of the Asia session and the first hour of the European Open, giving us enough liquidity but also avoiding hard move events. Now, if we look at the different statistics provided, we had a profit factor of 1.87 with a profit trade ratio of 77.48. Now, this is by making a few small adjustments to this advanced EA. Now, if we look at this criteria that we have made for the EA, it's also important to look at what the trading would look like using a cent account. Remember that cent account has a limitation of using a 0.10 lot, so we'll need to redo the test and see what the difference is for that. Now I have already created all of the different tests, so all we need to do is load up the test and we can take a look at those results. So like I said before, the cent account will be using a 0.10 lot sizing, so you can track those results using myfxbook. Now, if we look at the graph, you'll see it is a replica, but we'll just have a larger lot sizing and a larger equity drawdown. For this result, we had a total net profit of 9,831 with a good equity drawdown of 3,400. Again, using the same criteria, this is the set file that be running on the Slive account. So for those of you that are interested in testing along, make sure to follow the link in the description to download this and test it for yourself. Furthermore, we'll be also running a version of EA Black Dragon, which will also be running on the AUD CAD and this one on the USD CAD. Now, the last thing that we'll look at is look at over the short period that we had in the past where we actually had this large event of drawdown. By doing this, we can now compare the two set files and see how it would have performed compared to Cadence FX. Remember, one of the Cadence FX EA signals was running positively. However, I did remove it because of the losses on the AUD CAD. So if we move forward with this test, we can now compare over the short period of March to July what happened on myfxbook compared to what this robot is able to generate. By trading over the same period and comparing apples with apples, lots with lots, remember the AUD CAD was also using 0.10, same as the USD CAD, we'll see the different looking graph. You'll see these periods where the overlapping technique is actually taking effect and it's still moving our balance and equity curve in the right direction. Compare that to what we saw from Cadence FX, where there's a constant below the equity growth, below the growth line, is a very different trading style. Now, the total profit on this set file for Cadence FX was $1,077. So if we compare that now to what was able to be generated by Hamster Scalping, we'll see there's a big difference in what these two robots are like. Now this was using the same instrument again, using a 0.10, and we're now comparing the growth graphs of what Cadence FX was able to generate with comparing that to that of Hamster Scalping. Now, Hamster Scalping is currently running a summer sale, so for those of you that want to add this robot to your portfolio, make sure to take advantage of the summer sale. If we go back to our MetaTrader 5 terminal, comparing the same lot sizing, we can see that this graph has a lot more growth. And by simply using this robot instead of Cadence FX, I believe that we'll be able to recover the account quite quickly. Now, this one generated a total net profit of $1,215 compared to the 1,000 of Cadence FX. Equity drawdown is much healthier on this example at only $336.46. This is using that extensive periods of drawdown were actually handled much better than the example looking at Cadence FX. So for those of you that are interested in any other EAs that you'd like me to add to the account, make sure to comment your thoughts down below in the video. So what we're going to do next is we are going to be looking at EA Black Dragon. EA Black Dragon has been running on a few different trading accounts over the past few years, so let's take a quick look at some of its results. So this was using Dark Venus and EA Black Dragon on the same account, where EA Black Dragon used its overlapping technique to reduce some of the drawdown. Because we were reducing drawdown on this account, we were actually able to keep drawdown below 10%. You'll see it actually reflected looking the same way that we had seen on our previous testings using EA Hamster Scalping. So if we select the magic numbers that EA Black Dragon was using, this was on the AUD CAD and the NZD CAD, you'll see a very low drawdown of 1.31% with a total profit of $302.52. So we'll be replicating this set file, making a few small adjustments from my initial review, which was in May of 2023. So this robot has shown profitable growth with low drawdown using a couple of filters and adjustments that the robot has available. So what we'll be doing next is we'll be replacing EA Black Dragon on the AUD CAD from the initial robot that was trading on it. Hopefully EA Black Dragon will be able to recover the losses that are currently on the account, and make sure to follow up with that if you're watching this in the future. So if we head back to MetaTrader 5, this is testing EA Black Dragon using the modified settings after trading the robot live in the market. This is a set file using a 0.01 and an auto lot of 5,000. However, it is disabled for the examples. So if you'd like to enable the auto lot function, I have increased it to 5,000 to keep the lot sizing slightly lower. Now this graph shows again periods of drawdown, but those little moons that we see is the AI fighting the drawdown. Now this is a more conservative set file than Hamster Scalping because it uses two hourly filters. But again, we see a positive ratio between the total net profit and the equity drawdown, and a high profit factor of 1.75. This was using a 0.01 lot sizing, testing over the 24-month period as we did before. By using the same 24-month period over multiple tests, we are able to compare these against each other. However, remember that this is trading on a different pair using more conservative settings to reduce the drawdown that it was previously experiencing. Now, this EA trades using a modified stochastic and a currency strength meter as its entry criteria. So for both of these, I've actually changed it so that the Black Dragon indicator is set to the hourly and the modified stochastic is also on the hourly. This robot also only trades for 3 hours during the Asia and London session. Now, if you want to use this to recover drawdown, again, you can use the hedge and manual order options. Now, if we look at some of the other differences, this one uses a smaller lot multiplier when it goes into its grid function and is the opposite of the distance settings. The reason why I'm testing two different dynamic distance settings is to see which one of these are the best, and we'll use that moving forward. I calculated the take profit level using the optimization options, so it's always important to further adjust and refine your set files for your specific broker. Now, this robot has traded live, that's why I've made these adjustments after seeing the initial set file running. Now, both this one and Hamster Scalping will be available for download, so make sure if you have the robot and you want to test along with me to take advantage of the set files. Now, these different options for EA Black Dragon is another example of using a dynamic distance settings with the overlapping technique. And if we follow the same process as before, looking at additional set files for the EA, we'll see what kind of results we'll be able to generate. Now, this one also has a news filter set up in exactly the same way as Hamster Scalping. For high impact news events, it will wait 60 minutes before and after, and 15 minutes for medium events. Now, lastly, if we take a look at adjusting the set file for the sent account, we'll need to again use a 0.10 lot size. So it'll be running on the AUD CAD on the 15-minute time frame, and using a 1.0 lot size, we can again compare our return to what the maximum drawdown could look like. When you're looking at these drawdown figures, always adds extra space before setting your maximum limits. Now, again, for this robot, I'm using a 5,000 auto lot sizing so that the lot sizing stays accurate to the account because of the aggressive nature of both of these robots. Now, by this process of updating and removing EAs, it's important to have the right software tracking your results. So if we look at the backtest for our last EA for today's video, we'll see that the graph using the 0.10 again has its periods of drawdown. However, the overlapping technique is able to keep the drawdown to only 1,700. It gets us a total net profit of $4,499.53 with a high profit factor of 1.85. A total profit rate of 70.48 win rate is very healthy for the EA. This is using an entry period of only 3 hours with the last session of Asia and the start of the European London Open. Now, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of the different adjustments made to the system, and if you'd like to see more of these longer style videos. Now, the last thing that we are going to do is test it over the period of the 15th of March 2024 to the 15th of July 2024. This will give us a comparison to the $228 total net profit that Cadence FX was able to generate during this period. So for our last short test, we'll see what it would have been like trading this robot instead of Cadence FX. Now, using these multiple settings of the overlapping technique combined with the news filter, it's able to trade through stronger trends and has better entry criteria. The currency strength meter finds the right times to enter, and it's able to exit these trades using that overlapping technique. In the end, we can see that it was even more profitable than Cadence FX with a smaller drawdown, giving us a better result. Comparing the $282 to the $451, I feel that this robot will give us a much better return even for the high drawdown. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of the different robots featured in today's video. And if there are any other robots that you'd like me to add to the collection, also let me know down below. Lastly, if you enjoy these longer style videos, make sure to drop the video a like and also subscribe to stay up to date with future videos. And with that, guys, I want to say thank you for watching. Have a great week. Until next time, bye.